I promise you this video is not clickbait, but please watch it through to the end and don't buy a used car again until you've watched this video. I'm going to explain to you and give you real live examples right now of how your HPI check can come through completely clear and hide the secret past of your vehicle. And there are cars on sale right now with small dealers, with main dealers that have been written off in the past that will come through clear on an HPI check, and I'm going to show you how you can avoid falling into the same trap as countless thousands of others already have. Keep watching. So are you familiar with the term unregistered write-off or unrecorded write-off? I've heard it before. I've never given it too much consideration really, and I certainly didn't know how rife it is and how much of a potential issue it might be for you. So in a moment I'm going to go through a number of examples that are cars that are currently listed for sale with reputable dealers in some cases, small dealers in others, and it shows as HPI clear on AutoTrader via their checking system. But if you run it through a different check system, obviously I use VCheck. If you run it through VCheck, for example, you'll find some secret hidden history with pictures and evidence. So we're going to go through those in a sec. All this really came to public attention in 2019 following an article that Auto Express did. And in that article, which I'm going to put a link to in the video description, they explain that there are two different databases. Basically, DVLA have a database, but also MyAfter have a database. MyAfter is the insurance company's database. It's the one where the insurance companies go in and log that a car's been written off or salvaged or stolen. And it's not compulsory for them to do so. So every year there are potentially hundreds of thousands of vehicles that are written off or stolen or whatever it is and not registered, and they're then sold at salvage auctions. So your car that you're paying top dollar for could be a category S. And as you saw in a recent video I did where I looked at category S and N cars, which I'll put a link to up there, as you saw in that video, if you're buying a category car, i.e. a car that's previously been written off and then repaired and got back on the road, you should be getting a significant discount for it. And also, a number of people just don't fancy it, regardless of the price, regardless of how good the repair work may or may not have been done. A lot of people just don't want a car that's been in a big accident previously. So this is hidden from you as the consumer, even if you're doing something like an HPI check. Now, I was made aware of this by VCheck, the company that I use for my vehicle check-in, and obviously I promote them on my channel because I've used them for a long time and I like them. I think I mentioned in the video where I bought my 4 Series, I think I showed you the report for that 4 Series as it came up, and it showed outstanding finance and all that kind of stuff, and also if it had ever been in an accident. VCheck, they've explained to me how they've been trying to work with several people and even with some TV shows and TV companies to get this message out because they want the problem to be fixed, because thousands of people are effectively buying something that they think is something else, and they're doing it every year. Now, VCheck do give you this extra information, which we'll see in these examples that I've got coming up. And I've already recorded those, and honestly, some of them have blown my mind, really. But VCheck give you that extra information, and possibly one or two other companies do, but lots of companies don't, and some of the big ones don't. So you need to be very careful and make sure you know what you're buying. And if you've recently bought a car, maybe run the check on it and see if it has got a hidden past, and if it has and you're not happy about it, take it up with the dealer. When a professional dealer sells a car, they have to go through a certain number of checks to make sure that car's roadworthy and everything else. I think they should have to go through and check if it's possibly an unrecorded write-off. I'm sure they do HPI checks, but if you do the one that only shows the registered ones and you're not actually looking any further than that, are you really doing enough? VCheck, because they want to support this video and make sure people see how much of an issue this is, have given me a load of checks for free for this video. So thanks very much to them, and thanks for actually trying to do something good and get this message out there. Just like VCheck, I'm equally keen for this message to go as far and wide as possible. So it's really important that you give this video a thumbs up and please share it with your friends on your social media, anywhere you can. There's nothing wrong with buying those cars if they've been well repaired, but you should know about it and you should pay a hell of a lot less for it. So let's get on to the examples. So check this out. You're going to be blown away by this. I'm completely shocked by it. Now, this is a Mercedes-Benz GLC, a 2016 model of for 26,700 quid. Priced a bit below market average. It's on with the big motoring world. Not picking on any of these companies, by the way, because they might not be aware of it themselves. But these are cars that are currently listed for sale. You can see here, full history check passed on AutoTrader. So not recorded as stolen, not recorded as scrap, not recorded as insurance write-off, blah, blah, blah. All green ticks. Fantastic, lovely stuff. 26,000 miles. Lovely jubbly, love that. So I'm going to do the most basic check now on VCheck. Here we go. Oh dear, issues found. Right, let's have a look at this. Road tax check. Okay, has it got road tax? Salvage history. Right, we've got an exclamation mark there. So you can obviously purchase these add-ons. This is just the £2.99 check I'm doing at the moment. But the full £10 check, you get all this stuff. But let's see what we find just on this cheap one. Oh dear, salvage history found. Click to view. See here, this one's gone through as a sale on the 14th of Jan 2021. Okay. And that's had a bit of a knock, hasn't it, ladies and gents? This is all the pre-accident damage shots of the car, which, don't forget, has passed the HPI check. Check that out. So if you bought that thinking that was completely HPI clear, and then you found this out, because if you just go by what you see on AutoTrader, absolutely fine, no problems with that. I mean, the airbag's even gone off. I mean, that's had a proper battering. That's obviously gone back into the trade, and here it is now. Looks great, doesn't it? It looks like they've done a really good job on the repairs, but the point is, if that's a Cat S or a Cat N, and you know it's a Cat S or a Cat N, it ain't 26.5 grand. I typically find a Cat S knocks about 30% off the full price. This one's obviously a little bit below market average, but there you go. It says passes everything through here. There's absolutely nothing to say that car's been written off previously. That's just one. Do you want to see another one? Right, so this is a BMW 1 Series, GX70 KNJ, 28 grand. This one, good price. It's listed at 28 grand. Good price on that car. It's not cheap. It's not expensive. It's sort of bang on where it should be for market average. And let's have a look at the history check on this. Again, green ticks all the way. Fantastic. Looks a nice car, doesn't it? GX70 KNJ. Right, so here we go. GX70 KNJ. Uh-oh, issues found. Our checks show that your car has a hidden history that you may not know about. We're partnered with Reject My Car, who are experts in dealing with situations like this. Fill in the form below for a no obligation callback. Okay. Click to view. Salvage history. So the car's got hidden history. Here we go. Let's have a look at that one. Crikey. I mean, that's had a full-on front ender. What else have we got here? What was the date of this, by the way? 15th of November. Category used unrecorded. So it's an unrecorded write-off. They're buying it as an unrecorded write-off. And look at that. I mean, that's had a proper knock. And again, if it's been put back to a really, really good standard, sort of pre-accident standard, then maybe you could get yourself a bargain. But you shouldn't be paying full retail on that car, should you? Without a doubt, you should not be paying full retail on that car. And let's just remember, that's a £28,000 car. And as I said, I usually think it's about 30% less as a general rule of thumb. So that would make that car probably just under 20 grand, maybe 19.5 grand if you were to buy it as a Cat S. It's scandalous, isn't it? It really, really is scandalous. And look here, HPI clear. HPI clear, it may be. Right, let's have a look at this one. So this is a Citroen C4 Cactus. It's from a Citroen main dealer, this one. Okay, it's from Charles Hurst, Belfast, main Citroen dealer. It's passed the basic HPI check, so all good, wonderful. 22,000 miles, 12.5 grand, 265 quid below market average. So it's around about where it should be price wise. Let's have a look at the check on that. Oh dear, oh dear. What have we found here? Let's have a look. This was a Cat S. So they've even got it listed as a Cat S in the sale. And back end's pushed in, bumpers pushed in. So you can see there, that's a structural point there. That's the back end of the car. That's been pushed in. The body panel there has been pushed in, the boot. So that's a Cat S. So that's a structural write-off, okay? Not economic to repair. I was had a little smack in the front as well. Probably got pushed into the back of something else. But that's had a decent knock, and that's a Cat S. Now that's being sold by a Citroen main dealer as HPI clear, and technically it is HPI clear. However, if you do a proper car history check on it, you may find something else. Okay, so just one final one to have a look at. This is BMW 5 Series. It's a 530D M Sport Auto, 90,000 miles on it. And once again, basic history check has passed. And within that basic history check, not recorded as scrapped, not an insurance write-off. The check shows if a vehicle's been recorded as written off or total loss by an insurance company. And that's very important. What they're saying there is it's asking if it's been recorded. All right, so they're using their words quite wisely. Doesn't mean it hasn't been. It's saying it hasn't been recorded as. Okay, it says the initial check, issues found, salvage history, and mileage records. Let's just go to the mileage again. It's gone backwards by 500 miles in a couple of weeks, so probably something in nothing. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Cat S structural. Right, so it's had a proper bang, this. So you can see there, dear oh dear. Look, it's actually lifted the bonnet off. Stove the front in there. Taken that wing in. Taken the headlight out. Bumper's obviously gone. I'm guessing it's damaged the chassis just there on that corner. The windscreen's broken as well. It might be that the bonnet popped up and broke that. It's difficult to tell really. Curtain airbags are gone off. Steering wheel airbags gone off. My question to you really is, if you bought this as a perfectly good car that's passed its HPI check, would you be happy to find out that actually it was a Cat S? I wouldn't. And that's 14 grand, so it's 1,300 quid below market average. So if market average on that then's 15 grand, that should be being sold for 10 if it's a Cat S. And it's not. It's being sold for 14. So what do you think of that? I mean, I've got probably another 10 here that I could go through, but I'm not going to, because why just keep repeating the same thing time and time again? But do you see the problem, and do you see why this needs to be addressed? To the best of my knowledge, the DVLA and the Department for Transport have been aware of this problem now for quite some time, and the fact that there are loads of cars dropping through this gap and not being registered as write-offs, which means consumers can end up with them in their hands again and not knowing their past. And so they've known there's this gap there, and as far as I'm aware, they're not interested in doing anything about it. If they do have any interest in it, that's fine. They haven't done anything about it because it's still happening right now. So hopefully this will spur a few people on to maybe make a complaint, maybe check their own car out and find that that's actually got issues that they weren't informed about. Obviously in some of those listings the dealers are even putting HPI clear, which factually is correct. It is HPI clear, because if the HPI check doesn't show that information, it's clear. Don't look at us, not our fault. It is HPI clear. But ethically, just think about that word for a second. Ethically, is it the right way for it to be done? No, it's ripping people off. So there you go. They're the facts. Look into it for yourself. Have a go yourself. Check out a few cars. Find some for yourself. I think it's a shocking and scandalous situation. And I, for one, hope that Department for Transport and the DVLA does something about it. Right, folks. Now, the content on my channel is not usually as as serious as this, really. It's usually slightly more light-hearted. I do a lot of stuff on used cars, like Best Buys. I do stuff on new cars, reviews and things like that. I do a lot of sort of car finance comparisons. I'm not a car finance professional, and I would always suggest that you seek advice from a finance professional. But it's good to go into these things kind of slightly better informed so you can make a buying decision that benefits you rather than the finance company. That's it. But if you like this video and you think you might like some of the other stuff on my channel, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already done so. As I say, for this particular video, the thumbs up and the shares and the likes and everything else matter more than ever, because I just want this one to be seen. So please, please promote it as much as you can. So I mentioned earlier in the video that I've done a video previously about buying a Category S or Category N vehicle. There it is over there. So if you'd like to go and check that one out, please do. I don't mention this unrecorded write-off thing in that at all, because I've literally just become aware of it. So it at least tells you a bit more about what a Cat S and a Cat N really is. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.